Welcome to this episode of the Real Travel and Places channel. This episode is about Vilakazi Street. Vilakazi Street is a street in Soweto, Johannesburg, South Africa. It is arguably the most famous street, not only in Soweto but in Johannesburg, and perhaps in the entire country, South Africa. Some people even suggest that it could even be the most popular street the world over. The main reason for its popularity, ironically, is not because of the person it was named after, but it is popular because of two people who once lived in Vilakazi Street. Vilakazi Street is a very short street relative to its stature and popularity. It is only 1 kilometer long. As a matter of fact, it is exactly 1 kilometer long or 1 kilometer short. It starts at the intersection of Khumalo Road and Tlogile Street in Orlando West. Khumalo Road is a road where the Hector Peterson Memorial is located. Vilakazi Street starts at the intersection of Khumalo Road and Tlogile Street in Orlando West, and it ends at its junction with Buchingi Street, just off Mampuru Street in Orlando West Extension, colloquially known as Westleaf among the residents of Soweto. Vilakazi Street is a major tourist attraction, and it is popular because President Nelson Mandela and Archbishop Desmond Tutu lived on this street, or rather they had homes on this street. Both President Nelson Mandela and Archbishop Desmond Tutu are not only well known the world over, but are both recipients of the world-acclaimed Nobel Peace Prize. As a result, Vilakazi Street is dubbed the only street in the world where two recipients of the Nobel Peace Prize once lived. The Nelson Mandela House, house number 8115 Vilakazi Street, is a museum. It has been the Mandela home from the year 1946 until President Mandela donated it to the Soweto Heritage Trust in the year 1997 to be converted into a museum. And it was declared a National Heritage Site in the year 1999. It is the house President Mandela lived in even after his release from the 27-year custody in the year 1990. The Tutu House, despite it being a historical landmark, was given Heritage Site status in October 2011. The Tutu family lived in this house from the year 1975 and kept it as their Johannesburg home even when they relocated to Cape Town when Desmond Tutu assumed archbishopship and continued to live in Cape Town even after retirement. But they always used it as their place of residence whenever they would be in Johannesburg. However, the original history behind Vilakazi Street is its naming. As much as the Mandela and the Tutu residency seems to have overshadowed this important piece of history, Vilakazi was a giant in his own right. Vilakazi Street was named after Dr B.W. Vilakazi, an intellectual who lived in the first half of the 20th century. Born in 1906 and died at a young age of 41 in 1947. Dr. Benedict Wallet Vilakazi was the first black South African to earn a PhD. He was a novelist and a poet of note. A school in Zola Township here in Soweto is also named after him, the Dr. B.W. Vilakazi Secondary School. Over and above the President Mandela factor, the Archbishop Tutu factor and the Dr. Vilakazi factor, Vilakazi Street is also home to two schools that feature prominently in the history of South Africa. The schools are the Orlando West High School, popularly known as Matseke, and the Pefeni Senior Secondary School, popularly known as Pesesco. The Orlando West High School should not be confused with the legendary Orlando High School in Orlando East, that is popularly known as The Rock. The Rock of Professor Thamsanqa Khambule, Zephaniah Mutopeng, and Peter Raburo, with a rich alumnus that includes the likes of Kaiser Motaung, Jomo Sono, Zwelakhe Sisulu, Thabo Makgoba, Kgalema Motlanthe, just to name a few. We perhaps need to make an episode about Mooki Street in Orlando East, because Mooki Street also boasts historical and prominent landmarks and places that include not only The Rock, that is not only Orlando High School, but also the famous Orlando Stadium, the DOCC, the Orlando Communal Hall, just to mention a few. Well, Orlando West High School in Vilakazi Street has its fair share of history and has produced prominent artists such as Jerry Mufokeng wa Makgetha. But most importantly is that Orlando West High School gave birth to its immediate neighbor, the Pefeni Senior Secondary School, which was Pefeni Junior Secondary School at the time, popularly known as Puti, back in 1974. Mr. Charles Mpulo was transferred or seconded to start the Pefeni Junior Secondary School next to the Orlando West High School. A primary school named Puti was relocated to give way for the Pefeni Junior Secondary School, but the name Puti stuck with the new establishment for some time. It was at the Pefeni Junior Secondary School, or at Puti as it were, where the 1976 students' uprising started. The Pefeni Junior Secondary students, under the leadership of the likes of Seth Montgomery Mazibuko and other student leaders such as Franz Nkululeko Nkosi, were the first to boycott classes that led to the full-blown student protests in Soweto on Wednesday the 16th of June 1976. Vilakazi Street is a must-visit for everyone in South Africa who finds themselves in Soweto, in Johannesburg, or in the Gauteng province. Vilakazi Street is usually in the itinerary of foreign visitors and tourists from other countries to South Africa. Vilakazi Street consists of residential houses and business establishments. It is a hive of activity every day of the week, and it boasts numerous eateries, restaurants, curio and craft stalls, street performers and dancers. Eateries and restaurants provide a broad menu of food. However, the South African traditional cuisine is popular among the tourists. The traditional cuisine includes local foods such as mogodu, idombolo, umleqwa or umleqwa, intloko, umngqusho. Mogodu is tripe, whereas idombolo is steamed bread. Umleqwa or umleqwa is hard-body chicken. Intloko is cow head meat. Umngqusho is samp cooked with beans. Vilakazi Street is also home to the Soweto TV, a television station for Soweto. The eastern lower half of Vilakazi Street is more congested and busier compared to the western upper section. The busier section is where the Mandela and the Tutu houses are located. However, the upper section also has good eateries and restaurants. We have just covered Vilakazi Street in both directions, east to west and west to east, consisting of both the street views and the side views. I trust that you enjoyed this brief coverage of the Vilakazi Street in Soweto. Let's meet again on the next Real Travel and Places episode. So long.